Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying EB02 first week of locals. I brought Robin to my locals. It was a lot of fun testing out some of the new events, new cards, right? Seeing some people play the new green purple Luffy deck. It was a lot, right? But before we get into it, if you're wondering where I got my playmat from, shout out to Nen Garden for sending it out to me. I've got the Whole Cake Island playmat that they have on their site in a playmat and a desk mat. You can use coupon code STRAWHATPECAN for 5% off. With the affiliate link in the description, you can check out the site. I've also got a TCG player affiliate link if you're going to be buying any cards for the game right now. Clicking the link just helps support me. I think right now they're running a sale on their site where you get like 10% credit back. So a decent time to pick up singles, right? Clicking the link just helps support this channel. Let's get into this though. All right, so we got our first match of the day against yellow and purple pudding. So with Robin being another yellow and purple list, right, going to be a pretty straightforward matchup of just ramping into some big bodies, and that is how it goes. We did win dice roll and got to go first, so that's very good for us. He didn't have a turn one, like a 2-don play, which is also very good for us. We used the event, look at top 4. Looks like we have a Gum Gum, another event, a Nami, and a Hawkins. We pick up the Nami just in case he has a blocker or something we want to get rid of. And we go 6 of life, pitching our Saul. He gives us a 2k counter, and it goes back to us. So I really like in this hand that we start off with our 8-drop kid, right, against putting, obviously, that life is going to be a little bit scary, but he goes 7 banish at us with an Onami. We lose a 6-cost Robin, and he has a 0-cost event as his top life, followed by a 2k counter. We go 5 at life, no pitch, and play out our 6-drop. I will go over the deck list at the end. I forgot to mention that, but I want to break down some steps if you guys are unfamiliar with, Robin or just getting into the game, maybe a bit newer. The reason I don't pitch on this turn is because I know I'm going up to 8 Don. I can play out my kid safely because I'm still pretty healthy at 3 life, and he doesn't have any major threats on the board, and I have some decent counter in hand. Right? If I was in this matchup where I needed to pitch or get to 9 Don to heal immediately, obviously we would, but right now we're okay to just play out kid next turn. And obviously trashing that life will be super good. He'll be at 2 life, so we can use kid's full ability. He uses the Katakuri to ramp, flip that life down, and just go 7 at us. No effect because he's going to be a 10 Don anyways. So we got, I think, a 9 mom. Yeah, just a 9 mom. And let's see. So we go up to 8 Don. We just go 5 banish life. Just to pressure that hand size. He gives us a Brule blocker, 1k counter. We go kid. Trash his top life to get rid of that 2k counter. And then we swing 6 of life because we knew what he had. I don't want to give him that 2k counter to hand with the Robin swing. So that's why I swung banish first and then used kid. And then he takes that 6k swing. We do have enough counter to protect against like a 10 mom turn. He goes 10 ace, goes into the Robin, clears it. He goes at life for 5. We counter out. And then I think that was a Beji as our last... or as our life for that last swing, so not really applicable here. We don't really, the Beji isn't that crazy when it's the last swing of the turn. We go 9 with the kid into it, and then here we do forget to draw and trash, I think. Yeah, I think I did forget to draw and trash with the kid, I'll be honest. It was like one of my first times actually having it out on the board. Most times when I have the kid out, I forget to use it. So that is unfortunate, right? That is downside for me because I also think it is a mandatory requirement. I don't think it's you may. I believe you have to. So that is my bad. Because he was at 2 life, I believe. No, was he at 3? No, I don't know. I know a few times tonight I do forget to use the kid or like use it. So here we are using the kid ability. We draw the Nami and then trash it. Yeah. I do forget to use it or like use it almost a little bit late. He hits another 10 mom down, trashes our Beji, RIP. He goes 5 of life and we give it 2k. We take, and then here we Gum Gum. Drawn to a 9 mom, and we have to go 0 cost and a 2k to get out of that. So barely getting out of that 12k. And now we're just kind of probably going to go for game. He doesn't have a huge hand. I think like 4 or 5, 2 life. We have a banish swing and 3 9Ks. So that card was just my hand. We go 11 life banish just to try and reduce any triggers early that might stop our game push. And then with the remaining Dawn, we can go like, I think a couple of 10k swings, maybe an 11. So we have 4 Dawn open. So we can go like 11, 11, but we go 10. Yeah, we can only go 3 10k swings, but he takes the 10, so we just go 11, and then we have a 9k left too, so we should have it, and we do. GG, shout out to round 1. Love the pudding build. Really cool to see. But yeah, I do like... This is like the same Robin build that I posted a couple days ago where I tried to utilize the 2 cost events, and I do think they work pretty well in the deck. I do fairly like them, right? We always have the ability to pitch them for our leader ability, or, you know, just find any of our big bodies. We are also able to search out one of our 2k counters from it. It's not bad. It's not bad. But shout out to our round 2. I was really surprised there were so many people with the green purple Luffy deck so early, because my goodness, it is expensive. The secret rare has been hovering around like 80 bucks. You know, Sanji Pudding 15 to 20. This is on like pretty close to a release date too. And I will say, Robin, I think I need to reevaluate my playstyle and maybe my deck priorities if this is going to be like the meta, right? I think we do want to try to just finish game early with this, so I would like to see add more of the A-cost kids just to trash life, keep denying them resources, because the current gameplay strategy with Robin is like ramp into big body, play 9 Dawn to heal, leave 1 open for Gum Gum, deny my opponent's resources with that banish swing. And if I do that strategy, I can't swing into the Luffy with my leader, because he'll be from like 5 Dawn onwards a 6k lead. So that means I have to commit that last Dawn to leader if I want to swing. And then I can't use Gum Gum Giant unless we have like a Rosinante. I think maybe this is the time to reevaluate maybe the Rosinante. If you wanted to use that kind of a build still, you would have to probably have the 5 cost Rosinante in the deck. And maybe I should have used the Nami for the Sanji Pudding. However, I always kind of play in the mindset that they'll get the Going Merry stage and be able to buff that Sanji Pudding, and I won't be able to touch it. And also, I was just trying to remove some pressure by getting rid of that first Zoro, right? I didn't want to just get aggro down. There is a world where even if I can't swing into him with leader, that if I can successfully heal enough times and play out those 9k power bodies, that just swinging into his board and then his life, we can kind of turn the game around. But he doesn't buff up the Sanji Pudding, so we are able to use the 9 Mom to put it to the bottom life. But also, the fact that the Nami didn't hit a Sanji Pudding, it kind of becomes just a brick on the board, because he's the 6k leader. Unless I'm going for game 1 turn, I'm not going to really commit Dawn for the Nami swing, especially when I already have to commit Dawn to my leader swing, and that's a banish, right? So, and also every single body he plays out is like a 6k stat line or higher, so it's not like the Nami can swing into anything. But we do get the event out of life, which is nice. And I think I should have picked up the 8 cost kid here, but in my mind, it felt greedy too. And also it felt like I wouldn't have the time to, because he already has 3 swings on board. That's crazy. Got 2 back to back. So I'm prioritizing counter and heals, which I think for this matchup, maybe I should go the other way. Maybe we just completely remove the 10 cost ace and keep it a bit lower, put in more copies of the 8 cost kid to trash their life, cycle up my hand, maybe use like a couple of heal, right? Like still use the Linlin and the Yamato, but I think maybe more of the 8-cost kid would be good. Just deny them more resources from their life. Even if leader can't hit them, you know, the 8-cost kid can always trash the life. Right, I think a better curve would have been if I had the 6-cost Robin, obviously. So that's unfortunate that we didn't get to hit him with it. If we were able to banish out a leader swing, hit him with a 6-cost Robin into an 8-cost kid, you know, that's a lot of resource that he lost out on. We go 9 at the Zoro, get some cards out of his hand. So he has 7 cards in hand right now. And we are probably just going to use the Linlin to get rid of the Zoro. But like, again, I said, it does feel a little rough. And he's like, yo, just swap out the alt art for the non-alt art. So it looks pretty on the board, right? Because yeah, like I said, she's not going to swing for the most part anyway. So she's just going to be sitting on the board. The very cool alt art. But yeah, let me know what you guys' first locals of EB02 was like. What deck did you end up playing? I definitely want to check out so many different decks. I managed to get a lot of my play sets completed for some of my SRs. So I think Odin's on the table, right? I think I need like one more Vegapunk SR to play the deck. And he picks up a 2K counter Sanji. But I think the next video from our locals will be a little bit special. So I'm hoping y'all are looking forward to that. He ends up buffing his Sanji Pudding so he can't get hit with a 9-mom. He goes 7 of life and we take. But yeah, this kind of a matchup, that secret rare, it is way too scary, right? It is a 7K stat line. That's a lot of cards to deal with. We trash a Yamato from that. And back to us. We're down to 0 life. We go 9 at Sanji Pudding. You get some cards. Go 9 again. Honestly, I think we should prioritize the secret rare just because we are so low in life. But he had so much counter anyway. And he has a Don open. So I don't think there was much getting through with just the 9K swings. And we go Yamato. Get rid of the Zoro because he has 4 life and he didn't buff the Zoro. And I believe we have a Don open. However, that is a second secret rare Luffy. So that is 4 swings between the secret rare Luffy's, leader, and Sanji Pudding. So we're pretty much toast based off just our hand size, right? Like there's just not a world where we survive this turn. He goes 7, we go 2 and 1. Even if I played out the ace and swung like 10 into like the secret rare, I don't think that would have been enough because then we wouldn't have had Gum Gum. Again, I think a better gameplay strategy that we could try is just going a little bit faster. Maybe put in some of the rush cards, right? Like the Sanji or such. Just try out the 8-cost kid. Because I don't think we can really starve them too much when this deck has, 1, a lot of draw power, and 2, so much consistency with the searches, right? That they can pretty much always find their pieces, and it can get very aggressive and also hard to remove, right? We can't rely on like Yamato or Linlin to get rid of anything when they're buffing up with stage. And yeah, so maybe if we were able to survive this turn, we could have. I think if we saw like a lucky trigger out of life, but overall, kind of rough. I wish I kept the first Nami that I played out for like a Sanji Pudding, but again, I don't want to run the risk of him playing that stage. So then I missed the opportunity to clear a body. It's just a little rough. It's a little rough, you know. That 6K stat line is kind of crazy. Again, I think we need to utilize some pressure early with like a 6-cost Robin and an 8-cost kid. I think that might be our best bet. So yeah, I think I kind of want to add some more of those into the deck. But then it also becomes a bit of a race because they can get out so many bodies quicker than us, even though we're ramping too. It's just that they ramp, like, well, not ramp, but like, you know, they restand so much Dawn that they can play out multiple bodies a turn, right? That's their whole thing. So the aggression is definitely there from the deck. And Robin is can be a little bit fragile against aggro decks, right? We need 3 turns to get to like our 9-10 Dawn. And then we can start healing once a turn, hopefully removing a body. However, their board is too high cost to really remove because of the stage, right? Without the stage, we definitely can get rid of some of their bodies, but I don't know. I think I want to try a more aggressive build with Robin just to try and deal with this. But also I have a ton of different decks that I want to play for EB02 just for fun at locals. So I don't know when I will revisit Robin in person, but definitely some more moves we can make for some sim videos, you know, just testing it out. I don't know. I just like testing out different builds. But yeah, shout out to round 2. Didn't end up losing. Unfortunate. I didn't really go into today with the, I don't know. I guess maybe it being the first EB02 locals, I didn't expect a lot of people to have the deck, but I guess you should expect it, right? I don't want to say that I didn't build Robin around green purple, but I was hoping that we could have a chance. It just ends up being that they become a 6K leader so very quickly and are able to get very aggressive. So yeah, unfortunate, but is what it is. Shout out to round 2. Let's go on to round 3. All right, shout out to our 3rd and final round. Locals was a little bit shorter tonight, but we are against Shanks, and he picks up a Lucky Root off of his Searcher event. I actually was talking to him. I think the Searcher event in Shanks actually seems pretty good with how much the deck uses a variety of different top end, right? Like Rayleigh, some use the 7-cost Whitebeard. We end up triggering the Olvia, which I have, you know, really liked using this early on just to kind of cycle through your deck. But yeah, I think the Search event probably could find some space in Shanks. I haven't really played the deck too much. We go 5 of life. I'm just debate if I want to ramp, but you know, we have that 8-cost kid. We should have probably done it so that when we play out the 8-cost kid, we can still swing with leader with a Dawn attached, but and just playing up the Robin anyway to trash life. But yeah, I haven't played Shanks really, so I don't really know what the deck lists are looking like in EB02. I think a lot of people are going control. But yeah, the fact that you can find Rayleigh, you can find your Lucky Root, you can find your 10-cost Shanks, you can find a lot of your pieces, Dragon, you know, it seems like you get a lot of value from the event. And we get another one out of life, but that's, I mean, we have 4 copies of it in the deck, so right, we pick up the Hawkins just for, I believe, some counter maybe. We go 6 at life because I figure he's going to get rid of the Robin with the Lucky Room, but he counters out. We go 8 trash life with the kid, and then we get to draw 1, trash 1. I'm kind of remembering it now. We trash the Linlin, not trying to get greedy with my hand. Right now we do have a couple of heals. We've got Gum Gum. And honestly, next time we should be able to play out Ace pretty safely, but he goes, I think, 7 at life. And I go 2 and 1. And he goes 9 at life. We take. So actually now I'm like, ooh, maybe I should keep open a Dawn for Gum Gum if he's just kind of swinging at my life. I feel like he feels the pressure, right? Like we got a lot of life kind of banished. So maybe he is kind of racing us, right? He uses leader ability on Robin's swing. We go 6 and he counters out. He goes 9. We go 9 and he counters out and pops the Robin. We play Yamato, heal, and then we draw 1, trash 1, trash another Linlin. Again, we have a Linlin and an Ace, so I'm not trying to get too many bricks in my hand. He uses the event to find the Mulgun. And that's also another really good piece, right? And then he uses 4 more Dawn to use the Mulgun just to lower the kid. So it's a 4K power body. So I think he goes like some big like 8 into it, because I guess, you know, maybe didn't have much with his Dawn, but we pop the Lucky Root. Very lucky, actually. We go 5 of life. We go 9 of life. And then we go 10 Ace, go 10 of life. Just because I'm like, I probably have enough counter to get out of a swing if he has to play out a rush card. The only, I think, might have been if he plays out like the Luffy. We go 2 and 1 to get out of the leader, because because now we don't have any counter, right? But now I think we're good to survive, and he can clear one of our bodies. So maybe I should have taken one, but I don't know. I was kind of worried about like the remaining life being bricks. I don't know. He plays out a blocker, leaves 2 Dawn open, so we know he has that Red Hawk, so plus 4,000. We go Olbia to buff our leader, so we're got 11, 12, I think. Just to try and, you know, split, get a lot of cards out of hand, get that blocker. And yeah, he just blocks out, and we go, I think 13 or 14. No, I think I'm like, yeah, no, can I attach that another Dawn? It doesn't really matter because he had enough counter to get out of like it anyway, but we go 14. He uses leader, put it down to 13, and uses the Red Hawk 2K. I think he's 0 cost as well. Gets out of it, but now again we have a Gum open. We still have 2 life, so even with this dragon come down, I think we got it, right? We go 7, and we get out of it with the Gum trashing the Big Mom, and yeah, we do end up taking it. I think he could have went 9 there and gone like 3 9k swings, but it wouldn't matter because we had a 2k out of life and then a Veggie as the last life, so you know. That's just unfortunate, right? With the Veggie in life. I think that was the only time this entire night, or in general, I don't like, as much as we, you know, people hate on the Veggie trigger, and you know, I'm there for you, right? I get it. It's annoying. But like the only time Veggie's in my life is when it's the last swing of the turn anyway, so there's no point of triggering it out, or if it just wasn't applicable anyway, right? The Frankie 2k was enough to get out of another 9k swing with like a dragon, so it you know, it wouldn't have mattered if Veggie was going to get rid of a swing anyway, right? We would have been able to counter out of one of the dragon swings. But I think this was almost a more like a better example of like, if I had this kind of a curve against like green purple, maybe we would have had a better time, or a better chance, I should say, because we just went trash 2 life, play out ace, swing all these big swings at life. You know, it's a lot to kind of deal with. I don't feel like we tried to control board and starve them out. I don't think we play like that against green purple. I think we just try to get aggressive, and maybe that's what the meta is kind of call for, right? But honestly, right now, I'm not even worrying about like meta too much. I'm just playing when I'm playing at locals, and kind of just waiting for the starter decks to get more revealed. Right now, I think they've revealed Blackbeard and the purple black Luffy support, which looks really good. So I'm very excited to see how our set 11 is going to change up before I make any drastic changes, you know. And again, this was just the first week of EB02, so I wanted to try out the new events. Still had a lot of fun. I like Robin. Again, I always say this, I wish the deck played a little bit differently, but I think that's just on me to change my deck list around. I think we need to change it up a bit, maybe go a bit more aggressive, right? I want to try more of the 8 cost kid as my top end, maybe not relying so much on just healing every turn, right? Get aggressive, trash their life, play out some rush, like 7 cost Sanji, you know. Really utilize the pressure that a banish swing puts on them from the beginning of the game, you know, and try to ramp into that 8 cost kid a little bit faster, so you have the opportunity to do it, right? If you can get to your 8 Dawn turn when your opponent's still on 6, and, you know, play out a big body that trashes a life, it's going to be a little bit harder for them to respond to. I don't think we need to play slow in this kind of a meta. I think we kind of have to respond to the aggression that green purple leads with, and, you know, play accordingly. But yeah, very quick locals. Let's get in the deck list and yap a little bit about EB02 if y'all are down for that. So here is our deck list. Like I said, I just wanted to test out the event. I think, again, like I said, I want to pivot to more focusing on the ACOS kid for a more aggressive style of play. You know, trying to find our curve of going first, hitting a big banish swing on, 3 Don, ramping up to 4, going to 6, playing out Robin, trashing another life, getting into 8, trashing another life with kid, and then maybe we can, try and end the game by either playing a second kid or just swinging big again. By that point they should be down at least 2 to 3 life trashed, so that's 3 cards they would have had to their hand gone, and they're a bit lower in life. We can maybe finish off from there. I think even in that kind of a build, the event could be okay, but I would like to find room for like the 7-cost Sanji. Maybe we take out the big mom, just play like the rush Sanji to finish off. If we can have a Robin, kid, and then like a Sanji on board, we should be able to finish off some decks. Maybe have just a better chance, more aggression. Who knows? I want to test it out a bit. Maybe we run Okiku as well. Maybe in place of this. Just because that is a 6k stat line that triggers out of life for free as long as our opponent's at 3 or less. And obviously 6k is like the stat line to be in this EB02 into set 11 meta with all these 6k power leaders. I don't know. I still like the Nami for some removal, even though it does have us go down in hand size. Saul is good. I've always liked Hawkins as it's a decent body that's kind of hard to remove. However, 5k is not the stat line to be, of course, like I said. But I do like his draw 2 trash 1. It's a lot of cycle. Combining that with this kid, and there's a lot of ways we can kind of cycle through a deck, especially if we can bump up the kid to like 4 copies. Yeah, so basically EB02, I think I'm just cruising for right now. I'm waiting for more of the starter decks to be revealed because we're going to get those in June, right? So even though there was a lot going on with set 11, a lot of fun leaders to check out. Obviously, the meta was just going to be like blue, purple Luffy. And for this little time period of EB02, we got green, purple Luffy. I don't think it's that much to stress about being such a shorter set, unless you have like a big tournament going on. So I wasn't going to go crazy about, getting the deck built to play green, purple, especially when I saw the prices on those singles. It was absolutely insane. I'm very happy with the amount of randomness I get to check out now. Like I want to build Iceberg. I want to build Odin. I want to try Vegapunk, which is also a very good deck right now. So there's a lot that I want to check out. Of course, next locals video, something a little bit different. So hope you guys are looking forward to that. It's always been fun to try to make Robin work. And the more support we get, the better, obviously. But I would have liked just some direct support. I feel like this leader has just been not forgotten about because there is, I believe, a Saul in purple. But there just hasn't been that good of direct support, especially when you're comparing it to other leaders, right? We got this Saul that comes out in 11. On play, if your leader's Nico Robin, you have 7 more Don on your field, you draw 2. It's just not that great. He doesn't have counter. He does have the trigger, obviously. Like if they didn't print a trigger for a card specifically for Robin, that would have been crazy. I love Saul as a character, so it's cool to see him. But on 6 Don, obviously I think we'd just rather trash a life. I don't know. And then of course you have to have 7 or more Don. So if you get to 6 when going first, you can't, like, you have to swing through your leader first. It is nice to get your hand size back up a bit, right? That draw 2 is very good in that ability because we have to trash for our leader ability, right? But like he has no counter. It's not the best. He does have the trigger to activate this card's on play effect. So pretty decent. Just a draw 2, not a trash 1. I don't know. I just don't think it's enough. Especially when like things like Blackbeard are getting so much love. All of the decks in the like they're getting new starter decks. All of that is going crazy. I don't know. I just wish there was a little bit more for Robin. I get not every leader can get a ton of support, but it is wild that like the decks that are already going kind of crazy get to be even more crazy. And if you like any of these slightly off meta decks, it's like, you just don't have many tools to work with, right? I get, you know, we get more support in set 12. I think that Kuma might see a little bit of play. You know, it's up to us to deck build and try out different styles. But I've always just wanted something to scratch the itch of just not ramp into generic big body and heal, right? Or just to trash life. But I guess that's our whole strategy. I don't know. I just wanted more support. I think Saul's cool, but I wanted more unique support for Robin. I think it is meant to be a little bit of a, you know, an aggressive ramp deck, obviously with the banish on the leader ability. But yeah, give us something else that's unique to Robin, some nice support. I don't know. I'd like to see it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on EB02. What deck did you play in your first EB02 locals? What are you looking forward to playing? If you've been playing Robin, liking the deck, what would you like to see for new support for her as a leader? I'd definitely like to see something. I think these new events fit fairly well in the deck, but I'd like to see something more along the lines like this Saul. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more EB02 content, because there'll be a lot more on the way. But either way, hope you all enjoyed and see you all in the next one. Bye bye.